Featherweight Championship bout. This event is sanctioned by the World Boxing Council. The president is Jose Sulaiman, supervisor Luther Mack, along with the Nevada State Athletic Commission. The chairman, Dr. Elias Ghanem, commissioners, Dr. James Nave, Bruce Lane, Nat Carasali, and Luther Mack. The chief inspector is Mark Ratner. Introducing the officials as appointed, physicians at ringside, Dr. James McClellan, Dr. Craig Goodmanson, Dr. Joseph Heflin. Timekeeper at the bell, Steve Menzel. Keeping count of the knockdowns, John Rogers. And at this time, presenting to you the judges at ringside, Dave Brown, Keith McDonald, and Doug Tucker. And introducing to you the referee in charge of this bout, he will be giving instructions after the introductions, Richard Steele. All right, fans, here we go. It's showtime. The main event of the evening, brought to you by Don King Productions. 12 rounds of boxing for the WBC Super Featherweight Championship of the World. Introducing to you first the challenger on my left, fighting out of the blue corner. He is wearing black trunks and fighting out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He weighed in at 129 pounds with a record of 41 victories, 4 defeats. He has 16 wins by way of knockout. Welcome the former IBF featherweight champion of the world, Calvin Grove. And his opponent across the ring. On my right, fighting out of the red corner, he is wearing white trunks and hailing from Accra, Ghana. His weight is the same at 129 pounds. His outstanding record includes 35 wins, only 2 defeats, 1 draw, with 26 big wins by way of knockout. He is the former WBC featherweight champion. Welcome, the defending WBC Super Featherweight Champion of the world, known as the Mighty Warrior, Azumah Nelson. Once again, here's the referee in charge, Richard Steele.
But the both fighters in the dressing room, I'm cautioning again, obey my commands at all times. Is there any question? Shake hands and good luck.
So the pomp and ceremony of the prelims are over, and the main event is here. As the Warrior, Azumah Nelson, on your left in the white, will go against the former champion, Calvin Grove, in the black, again fighting out of Philadelphia, while again the pride of Ghana is the tireless Warrior, again Azumah Nelson. Gentlemen, who takes the advantage here? Who tries to get impatient first of all between Nelson and Grove in this first round?
Well, that's going to be a chess game. It's not going to be the first round. It's going to be the first several rounds, because Grove has got a good battery in him to run like this for 4 or 5 rounds at least. Azumah, on the other hand, has a champion's patience. He knows all he has to do is wait, and he will get his man. So it's a chess game right now, Bobby.
Yeah, Grove's not going to initiate too much of the contact, though, except for the jab. It's going to be forward, forward, forward motion for Azumah Nelson. And it's just going to see how much speed, just how quick he is, and just how long those legs will hold up like that. Certainly, it's got to wear him down later on.
Nelson, by the way, if this fight should go the full 12 rounds as we're set here tonight, would have gone 10 or more rounds, 11 of his 17 title fights, including his 13 title defenses. He's been 15 rounds once, that again with Salvador Sanchez, 12 rounds 8 times, 11 and 10 once each. The man does have durability and stamina, and he feels he's regained after the battle with malaria. Big left hook, drops Grove early here in the first round.
He's not hurt. No. Flash knockdown, but just to show you the power that he has, just drilled him to the floor with it.
That is purely flash, but it still blows this round big for him and gives him a little idea of what's in store for him, Bobby.
So again, it's Grove tried to back up and get out of the way. That straight left hand decks Grove in the first round. It puts the champion in command early. A left hand scores on Grove.
That's another good hook right there, just like the one that gave him a flash knockdown when his feet were a little turned around.
It was a nice sneaky right hand there by Grove, and what he has to do is he has to hit Azumah Nelson sooner or later with something to get his attention and a little bit of respect, because if Azumah just keeps coming forward like this, he's going to walk through him.
And that's the key word right there, Bobby. Walk right through him. And that's what Azumah does. That's what he's doing right now. He's walking right through him. No regard.
Another strong left hand sends Grove back into the ropes.
Azumah's getting a little over anxious now, really loading up with some big wide shots. I think Grove is doing what he has to in the way of movement, but he's got to use a much more effective jab. He's not getting that jab home enough.
I think Azumah thinks this is going to be a quick night, so he might as well finish it off, but it's uncharacteristic of him. He's usually much more patient than this, much more.
Nelson with his 35 victories, 26 by knockout, 74% of his victories, and he's going for early kill here in round 1. Under a half a minute of the first round.
You can see Azumah has the left hook in mind. He has got something, must have seen in the films. He wants that left hook.
Well, he's had good luck with it so far. When you got good luck with it, you might as well keep throwing it. That's what he's doing.
Closing seconds of the first round, you know there'll be a busy conversation going on. That'll be Calvin Grove's corner, because he got himself in trouble with a quick flash knockdown here in round 1. As we end the first of scheduled for 12 here at Lake Tahoe.
There you go, okay. You're all right. Keep it going. So keep your hands up high, so what you're trying to do is trying to time you with the left hook. Okay, keep that right hand up high. Okay? Keep it up high, so box and move. Whenever he's ready, get set. Yeah.
Let's take a look at that knockdown. I think it's more of a flash. Now keep your eye on Azumah Nelson's left hand. There it was. You see the way his legs were almost parallel to each other. They got hit, flash knockdown, but he wasn't hurt. As you pointed out, Bobby, he got right back up.
Yeah, as you look at it again, he got caught coming in right on the button, and, you know, it was just a quick flash knockdown. He got up. You could see in his eyes he was okay, but he was on the floor.
Let's look at it the other way. You know what's striking me? That Azumah Nelson's a faster counterpuncher. That's a counterpunch right there. And he's beating him to the counterpunch, which you would think was going to be the other way around. You'd think Calvin's so fast, it's going to be the other way around.
Azumah Nelson waiting for the bell to start the second round. Again, the aggressor in round 1. You can expect more in round 2. But how does Calvin Grove counter? Again, after being knocked down in the first round in his championship try. They go for the belt. Nelson in the black trunks, Nelson in the white trunks, Grove in the black. And Nelson, the champion, looking to defend his title for the 8th time.
He's starting to work that jab a little more. That's what he needs to do to keep up Nelson off balance a little bit. If he doesn't do that, he's in for a terrible night.
And keep him busy so he can't get his stuff off. Get that jab off. Get something in his face so he won't go. Of course, you can't hurt Azumah with a jab. I mean, the guy just eats up jabs like nothing. He's got a chin of iron.
He's a complete fighter, there's no doubt about that, but the only way you can win this fight, Calvin Grove, probably is on points, and this is the only way you can do it.
Whoa, there's another good left hook. Same kind of put him down. He's much faster on the counterpunch. That's amazing to me. He's triggering him off very fast. Is Azumah Nelson the champion?
I think Bobby touched on it early in the first round that indeed the Nelson camp has spotted something in watching Grove to get that left in, and it has been a big weapon here so far.
And they told him that in the corner. They said, keep your right hand up. He's hitting you with the left, so everybody in this place has seen it. Still, his left hand is not up. His right hand is not up there protecting like it should. It's under his chin.
The chess match has ensued a little bit. A little more looking here than punching.
Which is to the advantage right now of Calvin Grove, because he gets to at least pick a spot or two. A little over halfway through this, the second round of a scheduled 12-rounder.
I get the feeling that Nelson is baiting him. He's setting a trap, or he's waiting for something, because he seems to be just laying back just a little too much for the style that he normally uses.
You recall in that 8th round TKO win over Jeff Finnick, he baited Finnick into the corner and then hit him with a big left hook that finally put him away.
The thing about the champion is he knows, he's had such experience, he knows he can explode and put you down in a moment like he did before. And he seems to wait for those moments when he comes through. He's got patience, he's got steadiness.
Right now you can actually make a good argument to give Calvin Grove this round so far.
So far, Calvin's ahead of this round. He's doing all the work. But the round's not over, Bobby.
Calvin showing that quickness and speed once again, as the champion was throwing wild left hooks that were landing now, not able to hit a landing target.
Calvin Grove made mention in the interviews earlier before the weigh-in that he's used some different conditioning coaches as he's moved up in his weight, and he's going to be able to use those legs for the entire time of the fight.
Yeah, that's if nobody hits him to the body real hard. All of that's good when nobody's hitting you. But when somebody like this guy is pounding your body, your plans change.
Your worst nightmare for Calvin Grove is to find Azumah Nelson chasing him all night long, and so far, the first 2 rounds have certainly been the mode of this fight so far as Nelson takes the rest in his corner.
I go a little bit more inside. You're afraid. You put your job good too, anyway. Okay? Put your hand good.
No, move. Don't worry about trying to swap. You're back to fight. Fight to fight, okay? Don't run back him up. Just fight to fight. There's no best.
Right.
Move and stick. Okay, when you grab the set, move.
Was it my round?
Your round.
Yeah, your round, baby. You're doing
Your round. Good boy.
Okay, Doc.
Both camps trying to pump their fighters up, as you saw in the corner. By the way, working with Nelson is Jose Buffalo Martin, who's also the trainer for Julio Cesar Chavez. And if you quite obviously see a resemblance of styles, that's the reason, as Nelson in the white answers the bell in round 3.
Azumah kind of went to sleep in that last round. He just let the other guy get brave.
He put what we call a lot of mental pressure on him.
Yeah.
And here comes some of the physical to follow it.
Yeah.
Calvin Grove trying to smile off some of the punches by Nelson and attacking his own. A good left hook scares.
Azumah getting a little too crazy here. A little too crazy, but that is pressure he's putting on.
Left hand and followed by left hand by the challenger.
Grove trying to get his pound of flesh.
And he did very well. That was a solid, well-connected punch.
I think right now all he did, though, is get him really angry. Yeah. Nice right hand behind it.
Combination by Grove. Nelson walked into it, absorbed the punishment, and comes for more.
Calvin's kind of fighting his fight right now. He's moving, he's punching when he wants. Every once in a while, he's getting hard punches in. And Azumah, a little baffled right now, just following him around, waiting for his moment. He blew that last round on my card, and keeps fighting like this. He's going to blow another round because Calvin is doing what he wants to do.
Gentlemen, this is characteristic of Nelson, though. He normally is a slow starter anyway.
He's very methodical and very purposeful. I know, he knows what he's doing, but right now he's just laying back a little too much. I think he's just looking for that one big shot, and that can be a mistake.
You mentioned the conditioning of Grove. He's been not only working out with the weights, but also working on some karate, and runs with a 147-pound man on his back around the track to try to improve not only his wind, but his legs as well.
He runs with 147. Did you hear that, Bobby?
Yep, that's incredible.
Can I hire out as the guy gets on your back?
And it's showing that conditioning here against the champion.
Grove actually turning it around, being the aggressor for a little bit.
Man, both rounds he's fighting the way he wants to fight. He's bipping, he's bopping, he's moving.
I told you when we did the interviews at the weigh-in, I said I saw something in his eyes. The man came here for real to fight, and he is not proving me wrong.
That's what you're looking at right now, just what you saw. He is here to fight. Look at a little wise guy in there, a little intimidation by being wise.
Grove very, very focused on what he wants to do here in this 3rd round, and he has been able to do just about everything he wanted to against the champion, Nelson.
Oh!
Nelson with the right hand sends Grove back momentarily.
And those are the kind of punches that can turn a fight around
In a hurry.
That's the second one, but not hard.
So is Nelson. Again, a solid first round has seen Calvin Grove come back strongly. Rounds number 2 and 3, and the champion back to his corner.
All the movement, all the things fast. You press all the things and don't stand like fucking that. Okay, go inside this motherfucker and pull them and no worry. Okay, come, let's get out.
Let's take a look at that good left. by Grove. Now this is what we're talking about, was every once in a while, and that's a great shot, Bobby. That's a great shot. And also, take a look at this combination, Bobby. You call it.
Well, now he's pushing him back. He's actually being the aggressor, taking him to the ropes, keeping his hands up, working him, punching, right hand and left hands, keeping his distance, but pushing him backwards, being the aggressor.
And while he's fighting, nothing's coming back. And he's taking these rounds. That's 2 in a row now.
And it all happened after he got his pound of flesh with that left hook.
Yeah, right.
Bell sounds to start this, the 4th round of a scheduled 12-rounder, and now at 71-inch reach, a 7-inch advantage by Grove. 5'8" to 5'5" height advantage. You saw him score over the top. Is starting to pay dividends in this, the championship fight.
He came out in that last round with the jab much more. He was much more serious about it. He was throwing it with real bad intentions, just as a jab, and that is something he has to do to keep Nelson off him.
And also using it as an offensive weapon. He's not only jabbing, but he's throwing the right hand behind it, so that he's really fighting an offensive fight. He's here to be the aggressor, and he's doing it. Or he's being allowed to do it by Azumah Nelson, who sort of got lazy in those 2 rounds.
We're at 6,300 feet here in Lake Tahoe, Bobby. Quite obviously the altitude. How about these 2 guys? They both came in early.
You know, I asked Calvin Grove what he thought about the altitude. Did he come in early? He said, not really. I said, well, gee, you know, it made such a difference when I was training at it years ago. He said, yeah, but I'm a lot smaller than you. It won't bother me.
Well, it certainly hasn't bothered him now. Neither fighter. Both look like they're in good condition. They're not breathing from the mouth. They're not looking at all the effect of this fight. It's going by pretty fast. They're working fast, these 2 young men.
Bertie, what suddenly happened? No longer the left hook by Nelson is landing on Grove. Is it the movement?
Well,
what has he done?
He was looking to counterpunch. What's happened, as Bobby pointed out, is that jab is becoming effective and getting Azumah out of his game plan. As the jab pops, you're not throwing that hook like you were before when he was just posing it for him. Now he's got the right hand going after the jab. So Calvin's fighting a very good fight here. Very good fight.
Combination by Grove backs Nelson up on the ropes.
Grove's getting a little more brave now, a little more comfortable, feeling the strength of Nelson, and he's dealing with it. He's combating with him fine.
And he's throwing hard punches, Bobby. He's not just laying him out there like he did that 1st round. He's throwing hard.
Grove won the IBF Featherweight Championship in January of '88. A 4th-round knockout over Antonio Rivera. He won that title over in France. A 15-round decision over Myron Taylor for his only title defense before losing to Jorge Paez in August of '88. He went 15 but lost on the decision.
Let's go, Azumah! Let's go, Azumah!
Now you see Nelson more in his stalking mode that he enjoyed in round 1, but not able to land any punches.
He's still walking in. He's not throwing enough. I think he needs to put a little more body pressure on him. Just have the punches there, even if they hit Calvin in the hands or in the shoulders. Just be on top of him.
You know, he's not throwing anything. Just you can count a whole minute going by and he hasn't thrown anything. Forget to the body. He hasn't thrown anything.
You can see the confidence growing of the challenger, Calvin Grove. A little over-anxiousness by the champion, Nelson, and Grove catches him with the right hand as we near the end of round 4.
Now, goddammit,
like
just don't get killed.
Keep him moving till later round.
Keep moving. He go bring it up, give him up.
Every time you're moving him, you're making him work. You know what I'm saying? Then you do it on your angles and he opens up.
Keep your hands up, Silky, and don't get careless, man. Come on, let's not
right.
play, Silky. You're doing a good job. Box just like you're doing. Box just like you're doing.
Take a deep breath. There you go. Another deep. Come on. There you go.
These are the combinations you see Grove throwing. There's the left or right hand right after it. He wasn't doing that in the 1st round. He got caught. Ever since then, he's been picking up speed and confidence, and Azumah has been waiting and waiting. Let's listen to the red corner.
Anytime you put, just come down, come down. No stand, no. Come on, baby, come on. Let's go.
Not too much instruction for that red corner. Come on, champ, let's go. And a little bit in the plaintive. I mean, it's almost like a pleading voice. Come on, champ, let's go.
Well, we all know that Nelson's better than this, so it's just a matter of time before he starts to pick it up.
They're scheduled to go 12 in this championship fight. Nelson again, the defending champion in the white. The challenger, Grove, in the black, and he has indeed had some good, solid rounds here since round 1. There's that looping left hand again by Nelson.
Don't hold him, Calvin. Don't hold him. Come on, come on.
trying to cut that distance. Now he wants to go head-to-head. He wants to go toe-to-toe now. He's got his blood up now.
What he's doing now is he's forcing Calvin to fight him back, too, and what that's going to do is eventually get Calvin hit, and that's where he's going to hope to hurt him and stay on him.
That's what he wants to precipitate. One of those blow-to-blow. And blow-to-blow, Calvin loses.
Guys, you both walked into this arena and looked at this small ring. As Nelson is at an advantage of trying to cut off the ring here on Grove.
It's a 17-foot ring, which is one of the smallest I've ever seen in title fight history.
Well, they're small guys, and so it doesn't look any, much different than when you see when you see big heavyweights in there. It's a big thing, but these two little guys, it's okay. Calvin's got plenty of room to maneuver.
Come on, punching it out, punching it out.
That's the first body shots that I've seen him land, Azumah land with good effect.
See what Calvin does, as soon as he punches and throws a combination, he steps off immediately, pivots, and he steps around like that. And that's how he's staying out of trouble.
Oh, that's getting frustrating. It's getting frustrating for Azumah Nelson. He's making all kind of signs of a frustrating. Oh, nice shot by Calvin Grove.
Straight right hand by Grove, got in between the defense and scores on Nelson. And now Grove turns Nelson into the corner.
Grove is fighting the fight he had to fight if he was going to give himself a chance to win this.
I want to tell you something. He's fighting the fight of his life. I've seen him fight a lot of fights. I've never seen him fight like this. He is doing what he wants to do. He is the ring general in there this time. Give him credit.
He told me to move up in weight, too, has helped him. He said fatigue was helping hurt him in his fights more than anything.
Oh, he's doing what he wants.
Well, landing a little bit low on Nelson. Acknowledged by Grove and Nelson both. Good left hook again by Grove. Nelson tries to counter, but he can't find him.
Nelson is the picture of frustration right now. He wants to fight, and no one's going to stop him fighting. And Calvin Grove is a picture of ring generalship. He knows what he's doing, and he's carrying it out.
We had talked about this fight of Grove being the one that was going to be on the run, staying away from Nelson. It indeed is Nelson running to try to catch Grove. Closing seconds of the 5th round of the scheduled 12-rounder. Well, one of the interested spectators here, Gabriel Ruelas, he's the #1 contender, Bobby. Thought he was going to be here tonight.
Well, I'll tell you, I heard rumors that Nelson wanted $2 million to fight him, and that's probably one of the reasons it didn't happen.
Gabriel Ruelas, his brother Rafael, a big win over Jorge Paez in a fight in Los Angeles.
Pressure and punches, please. You first, baby. You first. Use the more your jab, okay? You fit bend the jab? Use it.
There you go. Take another one, Cal. Good man, you're looking good, Calvin.
Keep my hands up high, God, right. Especially when you get to the rope. Keep them up high, because that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to get you against the rope.
Right.
Okay?
Don't let him get the neck, Cal. Keep your hands up. You keep moving, okay?
Okay, so keep him up, please.
Must be some end. There's some end swell on the right eye. He must be getting some swelling there, Bobby. I don't see it. It doesn't look evident when you're looking at him.
Well, I noticed in the first round, as soon as he got hit with that one left hook, there was some redness there, maybe a touch of a swelling, but Boogaloo Watts in the corner doing a great job. Got the end swell on. He's on top of giving the right instruction. He's doing a hell of a job.
Yeah, this corner is good, and they're active, and they're excited. Whereas the other corner's kind of chairman of the board meeting.
They're almost pleading with Nelson.
Yeah.
Nelson a little more than giving him instruction. Like he's saying, pressure, please, pressure.
Sam Smith along with Bertie Pacheco and the current WBA Cruiserweight champion Bobby Chaz as we greet you again from Caesars Tahoe. And this the WBC Super Featherweight Championship. And as you take a look at Nelson's problems trying to catch up with Grove, he might have wished Ruelas was in there trying to catch Grove before this night is over.
Well, I tell you, if you hear a loud shot afterwards in case he loses, Ruelas is going to shoot his manager for not putting him in here, because if he loses tonight, and that's way up in the air now. I mean, after all, Calvin's doing great, but this is 12 rounds. But if he loses, Ruelas will rue the day that he wasn't in here today.
Calvin Grove again continuing to counter well on the charging Nelson. Nelson first won his WBC featherweight title in San Juan, Puerto Rico against the hometown favorite, Wilfredo Gomez. He knocked him out in 11. He won the super featherweight title in February of '88, a 12-round decision over Mario Martinez. He won that at the Forum over in Inglewood, California. Only 2 fights in his home country since he won that first title way back in December of 1984.
I can't say enough that Nelson's just waiting for that one big shot, and Calvin keeps moving the way he's moving. He may not get it.
Well, it's a long fight, Bobby. It's, you know, and one thing is the champion has the confidence. He's been there so many times to pull these fights out in the 10th, 11th round as he has. And he's done it so many times.
He's starting to use his jab now.
Well, that's what he said in the corner. He said in the corner, I'm going to start with my jab now. He said it, and he's doing it. And all of a sudden, Calvin's not bouncing around. Once the other guy's jab starts, look at him. He's standing in front of him. He's not bouncing him and giving him the angles anymore. That could be a big mistake for Calvin. Why is he standing still? See? He's right in front of him, Bobby. He's not moving around like he did, moving, giving you angles.
Now starting to work the body a little bit. Jab, jab, now the body. Oh. Grove came back with a nice right hand there.
Yeah, but he'd been hammered, and he's all of a sudden not on that pony anymore. And that's exactly what he wants to, what Azumah Nelson wants him to do, to stand still in front of him. Oh, a nice try with a right hand by Calvin Groves. Hook that's blocked by Groves.
Nelson, the champion, trying to take a little of that confidence away from the challenger, Calvin Grove, as he stalks, cuts off the ring, and is able to score a little more with proficiency here in this 6th round as we're midway through this championship fight. Well, just under 3,000 fans packing in here. Caesars Tahoe, Lake Tahoe, Nevada. Watch this, the WBC Super Featherweight Championship, as Azumah Nelson defends his title for the 8th time against a very game challenger in Calvin Grove.
Real good, son.
Come on, Phil. You got it, baby. Just keep moving.
He's trying to load up with that little blow. Don't pull out, damn it. Don't pull out. You pull out, have your hands up, okay?
Right.
Keep them up. You get a little anxious now because you know the time is.
Going to try to go around your body a little bit, Phil.
Okay?
Keep moving. Don't
Keep
stand there.
moving.
Don't hit on that body.
Whenever you see him get set, then you move.
Right.
Don't let him get off. Okay?
Yeah.
Keep them hands up high.
Presión, presión. Open, open. Let's go. All around me. Let's go.
Round 5, huh?
This is round number 7 of the scheduled 12-rounder. Nelson, again, must go on the attack now here in the 7th round to take the advantage away from Calvin Grove. Ferdy Pacheco, Bobby Chez. How about your scorecards? Obviously, it's been a good night so far for Grove.
Look at what Azumah's doing. He's hopping, he's skipping like, oh boy, now comes my turn. I mean, he looks like he is going to go have fun, Bobby.
Well, he looks like he's going to just run right through him now, but he's got to still get the punches out there. He's doing a lot of leg work. As far as my scorecard, I have it 57-56 for Grove, and I think Ferdy
exactly the same.
Has it the same.
Exactly the same. That last one for Azumah Nelson, as the corner pointed out even to Calvin. You're standing in front of him. Keep your arms and gloves up. You're punching and pulling straight back. See, he's got to get out from in front of that cannon.
What a turn this has been for a 13-1 underdog and a man that got a flash knockdown in the 1st round. He went down with a left hook by Nelson. Got up promptly, may have won the next 4 rounds before losing the last round to Nelson.
Good punching by Calvin Grove. Not a lot of steam, but good shots.
I can't stress enough how difficult and tiring it is to move as much as Calvin Grove is moving. He's got to slow down sooner or later and recoup and harness his energy a little bit.
Nor how important a jab is to Azumah Nelson. That which we had not seen until the last round all of a sudden is becoming a factor. Even if he's not hitting it, he's paralyzing the guy in front of him. He's like a guy in front of a cobra. He's standing right there watching the jabs pop out.
Calvin Grove told me that only good fighters bring out the best in him. When he fights a lesser talented fighter, he tends to look bad.
Well, he's looked good so far. That must mean some kind of compliment to Azumah Nelson, because he's looked better than I've seen him look in many, many a moon.
Did we expect anything less from Nelson to bring the best out of Grove? He always comes to fight, does Azumah. You see, even Calvin Grove is starting to set back just a little bit. Nelson again trying to take the fight to him. And the chant for the USA is coming up for Calvin Grove.
Calvin Grove is loading on the right hand a little bit. You can see him looking for the opening, And Azumah still hasn't really applied the pressure I really thought he would. He may be waiting for some of the later championship rounds and see what happens.
But he's getting close with that jab, Bobby. He's hitting like 1 out of every 3 or 4, but they're hard. And all of a sudden, Calvin's not jumping up and down. He's not a kangaroo anymore. He's on a track now.
By the way, that little concern of the puffiness over the outside of the right eye of Calvin Grove, no problem so far. It was a little concern. He got that in the very first round, but they've done a good job in the corner. Closing seconds, round number 7. Many thought it might finish before the 6th, but now here we go as we'll head to the 8th round as both fighters head for their corners.
Just like you do. Don't stand in front of them, Mama Gamma. Don't stand in front of them, just like you're doing, Silky. Doing a good job, man. Here you go. Oh, my.
Turn your head this way, just for a minute. Okay.
Doing a good job. Doing a good job, Silky.
Go, take a deep breath.
Good job. Keep that dog on the left hand.
That's good.
Keep that left hand up because he was trying to hook. Okay?
Don't stay in front of this guy. Keep moving.
Keep moving. Keep moving, Silky. Okay? Don't be in front of him. Don't.
Listen. Round 8, okay? Please, Azumah. The fight's too fucking close, okay? Let's get outside this man. Brisa, Azumah. Brisa, baby. Brisa. Inside the man, okay? Let's go inside and punches, like crazy punches. Yeah, okay, but no, that's Rambo time, Azumah.
Azumah Nelson quickly off his stool. Calvin Grove took full advantage of the full 1-minute rest as we head for the 8th round. Azumah Nelson, 164 championship rounds coming to his 8th title defense in this division. Only 45 for Calvin Grove. Experience in the favor of Nelson, but right now Calvin Grove fighting the fight of his life.
Yeah, Azumah Nelson pulled the fight even with that, but you heard his corner say, hey, this is too close to let it go on like this. Get inside and fight. And he said it's time to rumble. And I think that's like pulling the switch on.
Right hand scores.
Like, oh, you want me to knock him out now?
Well, here he comes. This is more of the pressure I thought we were going to see earlier.
Now where the left hand was a big weapon. Now Nelson is loading up the right hand against Grove.
Oh, nice shot by Grove. Right hand, nice right hand on the button. Didn't move Azumah, but it was beautiful.
Tell you what, though, it created some momentum for Grove, too. He wants to fight. Now, look at him.
Look at Azumah. Just smile. Like saying, oh, yeah. You want some? I'll be here.
Well, I was never one for that type of showboating. You can't win the fight with gestures or talking, but sometimes it helps to pump you up.
And sometimes it tells your opponent something also. It's called whistling in the cemetery.
Only one man has ever been able to stop Nelson in a 15 round. The late and great Salvador Sanchez did it in the 15th round of their title fight.
I was there that night, and nobody in the world had ever heard of Azumah Nelson. He came off a freighter, and he gave him the fight of his life. What a wonderful night that was.
Well, again, we mentioned fighting only 2 fights in his home country. A small contingent of fans from Ghana are trying to get their champion back in the groove here in the 8th round.
Well, they have a chant going. They follow him everywhere. They came to Australia. A big contingent came to Australia. And they chant, and it really steams up Azumah.
He's a national hero over there, the son of a tailor, influential businessman, owns one of the largest trucking companies in Ghana, in addition to being one of the greatest here in the super featherweight division in boxing.
Azumah's putting his head down, almost just walking to him like a charge, like a bull. I mean, I would stick that jab right in the middle of his forehead.
Yeah, he's like putting it there, say, try a hook, try a jab, see what happens. I mean, he's putting it there, try an uppercut, see what happens.
Don't hold it. Great. Step back. Don't hold it.
What Azumah does, too, when he bends down like that is he coils himself and he leaps into Calvin with a big left hook or right hand. That could be extremely dangerous for Calvin.
Nice uppercut.
Like that.
Yes, indeed, right to the body. Grove is now starting to get a little fearful of Nelson as he starts to clinch to stay out of trouble.
And now he's holding for the first time. For the first time in this fight, and this guy is stalking. Boy, he's in the tall grass, and he's coming after him. Come on.
Azumah Nelson, the ageless warrior, catches Grove just as the bell sounds, and then he slumps as the Ghana contingent are certainly up in arms here after the 8th round. A solid return to action for the champion.
Doing a good job, sir.
Water bottle.
Put some ice down there, pal.
Get the water bottle, please. Get the water bottle.
Hey, all right there. Calm down now, brother. Yeah, you gotta move. You gotta get ready. You gotta be moving, man.
All right. No, move, okay? Get going.
Okay.
Move, look. On his side. Look here.
Don't let him bullshit you.
Look here.
Let's watch the old warrior in action. Here's a guy that's coiled up, like you said, Bobby, ready to punch, and that's what we're seeing, a stalker, a hunter, a guy that knows his prey's in front of him. He's going to finish.
Yeah, now he's almost playing with him. He gets in the corner, just starts roughing him up a little bit, banging, swinging, and he's throwing a lot of wide shots, and now he's finally starting to rip some up the middle. Could be a different fight from here on in.
Looks like a guy's been given the go signal. Somebody said, let's rumble, and he said, oh, now? Okay. We'll go from now. Ever since they said that let's rumble, he's been in that coil mode, like, come on, you want to fight, stand still.
Round 9 of our Showtime Championship Boxing. And the champion, Azumah Nelson, in the white trunks, is now stalking his prey. He had fallen behind in the cards. Let's go to the cards of Bobby Chaz along with Ferdy Pacheco. Bobby, how about your card?
I got Nelson pulling ahead now, 76-75, and it's a reasonably close fight, but you can see the momentum, the tide turning a little. Azumah's almost fearless because Grove can't really hurt him.
He is, as they say, walking through him, and I've got the identical card. Also remember, he is the champion and a heavily respected champion, so people vote for him anyway. But oh, nice right hand. Look at Azumah. Look at Azumah. This looks like a Tarzan movie. So what is this?
One of the things to note that Bobby Chaz says he saw something in the eye of Calvin Grove that said he was coming to fight. I'd love to look into his eyes now. He's got fear in there. Oh. Nelson's attacking with the right hand.
Look at this. Look at the attack.
Unfortunately for Calvin Grove, I think this is the beginning of the end.
Yeah. Or the end of the beginning. One of the two.
Punching it out of there.
Combination by Nelson. Look at the stalk of the champion Nelson.
But he has no defense at all. It's just like, here I am, try to hit me, and I'm going to gong you in return.
I'll take one to give one or two, and that's his philosophy now in round 9.
And Calvin's still throwing his right hand back. He's still trying. Now the little showboating on Nelson's part.
Oh, uppercut right hand by Grove. Excuse me, by Nelson. A good counter right hand by Grove.
Grove hasn't lost his head or been intimidated. He's still trying to get something in there. It's just like he seems to be fascinated watching him.
I think the problem here is Nelson's just too strong, and Grove can't really hurt him enough to keep him off, and it's just not going to happen. If you can't keep this man off, you got a problem.
Yeah, but Bobby, you can't get that crazy. I mean, you know, what he did that last round was that showboating is good, except if the other guy doesn't go for it, he keeps popping. Hey, you're not Superman. You can get hurt. Look at him. He's back to his old guard. He got gonged a few times, and he's back to his guard. He's a smart fighter. There's Azumah Nelson.
We talked before the fight about the mental and physical approach of Calvin Grove after 4 years of a wait. Get back, and now the mental game continues to be played by Nelson.
See, Nelson comes in, he just loves to load up. He just can't stop. He loves to bang with the big shots, but he swings around. If you get caught in the end of those punches, it's going to hurt you. If Calvin was a little stronger and a little more sturdy on his feet, a little stronger, he fires some punches down the middle, could be a good fight.
Boy, this is a hunt to begin with. From gong to gong, he hunted them.
Well, the gong ends the 9th round, and Jose Buffalo Martin waits the arrival of Azumah Nelson in the red corner, and the champion is back in the groove.
What? No break for this one, please. No break, like that. No punch, no. You stand, put let me punch this man go. Come on.
Let's look at that Nelson swarm. Something like I haven't seen in a long time in boxing. He just swarmed all over him. No regard for defense, Bobby. Look, his defenses are nothing. He's just throwing both punches.
See, he can sense how strong he is. He just keeps coming in, and there again, you know, any angle. Look where the angles. I mean, he's throwing punches from everywhere. He's stepping his right foot, just shoving it out. He's just so strong, and he feels that he can't get hurt. And now he's coursing to the win.
That's exactly what we're looking at. A man who has confidence that he can't be hurt, and he can walk through you.
Azumah Nelson, with a stare of a champion, answers the bell for round 10. You almost get the feeling that the showboating of Grove 2 rounds ago was the wake-up call that Nelson was waiting for, as he goes for his 8th title defense in the super featherweight division. Now, does he continue to stalk in the 10th, as he does here? What does Grove do?
Oh, another shot, a little bit more, Bobby, and that would have taken him right out. It just came right glancing off his face.
You see, Grove leans away, which takes a little off the punch when he leans and he kind of rolls with it. But what you see now is a little more bounce in the legs of Azumah Nelson, too. He's not just putting his head down and charging. He's got a little bounce, a little spring. He's leaping in powerful shots.
And I don't see that bounce so much in Calvin's legs anymore. But Bobby, when he leans back like that, if the shot is really timed right and you're leaning back, that is Chaosville.
You're on the floor.
Let me tell you, Bobby, up to this point, I give all credit to Calvin Grove. I think he's losing this fight, but let me tell you, he has been in here.
He's not losing by a lot. I think he's fought a very smart fight. I think Boogaloo Watts has done a great job with him. He's telling him the right things to do at all times. And Calvin Grove has got his pound of flesh. He got the respect he came here to get. Now can he get the title?
Yep, he's got 3 rounds to prove it in 10, 11, and 12. It's not out of distance. It's not out of range.
You know, the 3 judges, Dave Brown of Canada, Keith McDonald, along with Doug Tucker of the U.S., their eyes glued on what's happening here in the 10th round. Grove again, back standing and punching against the champion.
That's what he has to do. He has to counter. When Azumah swings wildly and misses, he has to make him pay for it.
And if he lands, oh, nice jab again by Calvin. See, he can take this round. Calvin's gotten a little bit of air, a little bit of braveness from those couple of shots, and he's gone back to boxing intelligently again. He's no longer a target. Now he's back to boxing and being a ring general. Nice to see that.
A little flash of confidence that we saw back in rounds 2 through 5. And he fought so well in.
Oh!
Big left hand. He's got Grove in trouble in the corner.
Oh, another good uppercut.
Left hand. Grove has not started to clinch, but he's taken some more punishment. Half a minute to go in the round.
Grove's trying to get away, and what Azumah wants is to put 2 or 3 of those big bombs on his chin in a row.
Now there's desperation on the face of Groves. He's holding on to his arm as best he can. He's hurt. There's no 2 ways about it, but Azumah was not able to apply the finisher.
Those strengthened legs of Grove now starting to become even more wobbly here in the 10th round. And there comes the stalking champion again.
He's got him in the corner. Now let's see what he does. Azumah Nelson's got Calvin Grove where he wants him.
And the bell sounds as they exchange punches after the 10th round. Calvin Grove, some more punishment. Let's head for his corner.
Very good. 6 more minutes you can, man.
Here's your water. All right, take a deep breath, Silky. You're doing a good job, Silky.
6 more minutes, man. You champion of the world.
You're right there, baby.
6 more minutes. You champion of the world. He's tired, so he's getting disgusted.
Keep that eye closed. You got a fans out here, Silky. You hear him howling USA, they mean Silky smooth.
Okay?
Let's take a look at this onslaught. See, if that had been lower, it's right on the forehead. Now comes the right hand. Azumah Nelson, sensing a knockout, tries to apply, but Calvin again intelligently ties him up.
Well, you see, he's been real slick. Even though he gets hit with the big shot, he goes back to the ropes. You see him put his hands up, he twists, he turns, he tries to clinch, tries to not give him an angle, move out of the way of that onslaught.
But he gets hit right at the end of that. He got to hit a nice little left uppercut. It's just that you can't expect Azumah to turn off. He just keeps on going. Azumah standing, Calvin Grove sitting till the last second. He wants to get that last second rest. I don't blame him.
The total concentration in the faces once again of the champion, Azumah Nelson, 34 years of age from Ghana in the white. The challenger, Calvin Grove, 30 years old. His 46th professional fight and an opportunity to once again go for a world title that he lost after having one earlier in his career.
In his corner, they said 6 more minutes to go and you are the champion, which is a nice thing to tell him, but...
Well, I'm going to have to disagree with that a little bit, but I think that they're trying to do what they can to keep his energy up, keep his mind clear, and keep him in the fight. I think that's what the motivation is.
And I think they're entirely correct. You got to get him to fight like the devil for the next 2 rounds in order to take this title. After all, you really don't know how the judges are looking at that. Maybe they love a ring general. Maybe they love a bouncer.
How about you 2 guys? How have you got him scored right now?
Well, I got him ahead 96-93. Azumah Nelson, that last round was, he wasn't winning, and all of a sudden he turned the whole thing around. He's been on a roll for the last 5 rounds. Has Azumah Nelson on my card.
And my scorecard mirrors Ferdy's. I have him 96-93 ahead, and basically he's in much more in control now and in more command.
The turning point truly came at about midway through the 8th round when Calvin Grove started to hot dog a bit, if you will, and Nelson took the bait.
I've seen Nelson fight a lot of fights, but I never saw him stalk like that. I never saw him do that.
I think some of that was out of frustration, too, because he can't catch Grove. And Grove is boxing a slick fight.
Slick is the word. We haven't used it yet today, Bobby, but you used it right. That's what he's done today. He was slick. I mean, he is slick, Calvin Groves. It's not a past tense. He is slick.
You read his trunks, it says silky smooth, and he was that today.
Yeah.
Got up off the canvas in the very first round, got hit by a left hook, a flash knockdown. 4 solid rounds.
He's being out-jabbed right now by Azumah Nelson. Every time. Oh, he's staying there after the jab. That's bad news. He's sending him an invitation with a jab, and if he stays there, he will deliver that right hand.
There's that left hook. Nelson starts to deploy the big weapon again.
See, Nelson's so strong that even if he hits Calvin Grove in the shoulder, he moves him so much that he's off balance and can't really even counter.
Calvin Grove with a good combination, but look at the champ come back.
2
and
jabs
a minute to go in the 11th round.
2 jabs and right hand and counter.
Another nice right hand.
Calvin Grove with his combinations, but Nelson.
But he's hitting nothing but cross hands and gloves in those combinations. Looked good for the audience, but he wasn't hitting
Blocked him
anything
well.
but the blocks.
Closing seconds of the 11th, we officially will go to the 12th and final round.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Give me 3 minutes, Ducky. Look, 3 goddamn minutes, man. You champion on the world. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Look, I'm going to tell you something. Listen to me. Move for the first half a minute. Put it in. Don't fight. Put it in there, Bob. Then the last 3 jabs, 9 minutes and a half. Come here, what?
Come, please. For your son, for all of your family, for all of your future, you walking around like motherfucker. Okay?
This is your last and final round.
John, please. For all your life putting it in.
Watching yourself. Don't even dog go fight for him, okay? Okay?
Just keep moving.
Just keep moving. Just your last look.
Almost a pleading coming out of Calvin Grove's corner as they touch gloves, and this is the 12th and final round. Azumah Nelson ahead unofficially on the cards. Calvin Grove having to throw caution to the wind and fight the round of his life to recapture a title.
You know, Calvin Grove said earlier that he thought at 30 years old he's fighting much smarter, but he lost some speed. I think he still has the speed.
And he's smarter. Because this has been a smart and fast fight. You can't fault him. He may not be losing as big as I've got him losing, but I think he's losing. A nice right hand by Silky. He's putting on a performance, is Calvin Grove.
Well, I'll tell you, even Azumah Nelson's corner must be a little worried because they told him to go out there and fight this last round like a son of a gun.
Yeah, they were telling him about fight for your mother, fight for the cattle, fight for the truck company. He was pulling out all stuff. Not that he's so far ahead. He'd say, take it easy now. Just don't do anything stupid.
Again, we pointed out the late rounds belong to Nelson. As far as Grove is concerned, he's been over 10 rounds only twice. 15 rounds and 11 once.
Barring the drastic or dramatic in the next few minutes, I don't think Azumah Nelson's going to lose his title tonight.
Azumah a little desperate there, a little desperate. Just lunged. He's frustrated. And Calvin is fighting like he fought when he won all those rounds in a row at the beginning. Beautiful fight, smart, slick, popping, not getting hit.
You see the time left in the 12th and final round. Our conversation with Calvin Grove, a question, what will you do if you lose this fight tonight against Nelson? He said it depends on how I lose. And then with a sly smile, he looked at us and said, but I don't plan to.
Well, he didn't lose. I don't know about the fight, but he didn't lose any points. He grew in estimation no matter what the outcome of this fight is.
Yeah, I certainly think his stock and value went straight up.
Straight up, you could put him in with anybody. This was an excellent performance by Calvin Grove.
Grove bobbing and weaving in this 12th round, but not doing enough to probably take the fight back from Nelson.
Well, they'd have to overcome it with a knockout on our scorecards. So he is doing a superb job. And let me just say, while we only got a few seconds left, our cards are unofficial. You could be having 3 judges that love a boxer and a clever fighter, and he could be losing Azumah Nelson. So don't go away, folks. This is by no means a sure judgment on the part of Bobby Ches and I.
Watch and enjoy the final seconds of the title fight. This crowd has certainly been well entertained with this championship fight. Many felt it would be short. Many were saying it wouldn't definitely go past 6. We went to the 12th and final round. Calvin Grove trying to get his celebration in early. Well, you saw Nelson very businesslike in his approach at the end of the fight here, Bobby.
Well, Nelson, that's what he is. He's a champion. He knows he's been there so many times.
You see the corner of Azumah Nelson. Again, that's Jose Buffalo Martin. Again, the trainer of Julio Cesar Chavez that has been working in his corner. The gentleman just to the right. And again, he has put the game plan together after a sluggish start to the first 5 rounds for the champion. He got the wake-up call and does what he has to do, at least on our unofficial cards, to defend his title for the 8th time. But Calvin Grove has come to this arena and, as both Ferdy and Bobby pointed out, have done exactly what he needed to do.
So many goddamn doctors this morning.
He is a tired fighter here. He has indeed had quite a fight, almost collapsing on his stool.
Yeah, well, he should. He worked so hard that last round. Look at how tired he is of the exertion, the force, and the joy of having lasted with the great Azumah Nelson.
As I said earlier, I couldn't stress enough just how tiring all that is. Look at him. He's almost stretched out.
He's almost laying down. He's almost passed out in the corner. Look at his. I mean, he's completely stretched out. His legs are stretched out the corner. The stool is dangerously perched. A little slippage there, he's going to go over on his back.
I know that feeling.
Bobby, you were never that tired.
So as Grove tries to catch his breath after a marvelous try to capture the title away from Azumah Nelson, who again fighting not in his home country of Ghana only twice since his title. You may go back to the first round and think, what was going through Nelson's mind? All of a sudden he had Grove in trouble. He had a quick early knockdown. Bobby, let's pick it up in that first round.
Sure, you know, Nelson was winding up here with the left hook. He caught him on the way in, hit him right on the button, just over the, just about around the right eye area. Just under it, just over it. Bam. And it was, like I said, a flash knockdown.
Grove got up, but again, let's take another look at that, and look how quick this landed.
It's the only knockdown in the fight, and like I said, his legs were squared off. It was more off balance than a real big, debilitating shot, but the only knockdown gives him a 2-point round, too.
Well, you also have to talk about the heart of Grove. He got up off the canvas, and what a solid next 4 rounds he fought.
I told you when we did the interviews, I saw something in his eyes. The man came to fight. He proved me right.
Well, you get a look at both Nelson and Calvin Grove. Grove hoping for a dream of a lifetime. Let's go to Jimmy Lennon with the official announcement of this decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 championship rounds of boxing, we have a unanimous decision. Here are the score totals. Judge at ringside, Dave Brown, scores the bout 115-112. Judge Doug Tucker scores the bout 116-111. Judge Keith McDonald scores the bout 114-113. All 3 in favor of the winner and still champion, Azumah Nelson.
I don't believe it.
So as Nelson celebrates, you saw Grove. He said, I was robbed.
How can they do that?
And the WBC belt again still belongs in the hands of Azumah Nelson, the winner by a unanimous decision in his 8th title defense here in Lake Tahoe.
Good fight, man. I'll give you the mic. Don't worry about that. Yeah, rematch, baby. Yeah, okay. I'll give you the mic. I got hot. That's all I am.
Well, Calvin Grove may have broached one of the fences. He was trying to mend the fence right there as he quickly came to the champion and, of course, embraced. Azumah Nelson, we told you all week long, again at Lake Tahoe, he came in very confident. And he went in and playing the telephone, the piano all week long here. Earlier tonight, Nelson leading the songs of the Ghana contingent. They're singing, of course, in their native tongue. He's been here before. He'll do it again for us. Azumah Nelson playing a happy tune before the fight, and boy, did he have a happy tune in the ring tonight, Bobby.
Very relaxed champion.
You see the contingency all around. Again, the champion Azumah Nelson, 34-year-old ageless warrior, as he picks up his 36th victory tonight, and again does it the hard way over Calvin Grove, as again he comes up with his title defense here in Lake Tahoe. Ferdy Pacheco has left us at ringside, and he is in the midst of all of that. Let's go up with he and the defending champion. Ferdy?
Much harder than you thought, Azumah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know, fighting somebody like Calvin, you know, moving around, I don't know, is a good boxer, you know, and you can't get the time to catch him, you know, so you have to, I mean, just take your time and put a little pressure on him and get tired. And,
the first knockdown, did it change your way of fighting? Did you think, oh, I got this an easy fight tonight? Because it was a flash knockdown, but did you think you could get him easy after that?
I don't think I'm going to get him easy, but I thought the fight was not going to go to the distance, you know, because I said I'm going to put pressure on him, and then I'll take him out in the maybe 6th round. But when I saw that he started running like that, I said, okay, let me box him and take my points on him, and then win on points.
I don't think I've ever seen you fight with that crouch where you came out with your head out and you were crouching like a coil, like a snake ready to strike. What was that?
That's right. This is why they call me Professor, because, you know, I change my style any second. You know, the style to suit me.
All right. You're satisfied with the victory?
Well, I'm satisfied, but I want to give him a rematch again because he's a good boxer.
That's very good. And Calvin Grove, you feel like you like a rematch? You did a wonderful job tonight.
I love it. Freddie, you didn't even give me a chance. Nobody gave me a chance. I'm going to say right there, nobody gave me a chance. But I did it, you know what I mean? I know I won, you know what I mean? Azumah's a great fighter. It was a great fight. Number 2 would be even a better fight. So, Don King, if you're sitting around here, I know you're here somewhere, make number 2. We'll do it again.
All right, you told us
anywhere but in here.
You told us in the interview you would consider retiring if you hadn't looked good. Well, you lost, but you look great losing. I've never seen a guy lose and get so much credit as you did tonight. Now, would you take a rematch?
Yeah, sure. But Freddie, you see, but you know I wasn't Freddie. But hey, Azumah's a great fighter. I said before. To my hometown, my children, I love you. I'll be back Monday, 6 o'clock, and I would love to do a rematch again.
All right, one last thing.
2 months.
One last thing.
We can do it again.
One last thing. That little jiving thing you did with him, that little taunting that you did, what was that all about?
It was like I was saying to Azumah, you know, you're great and I'm great, you know what I mean? And people were saying Calvin Grove was done, but I shocked the world. Like I said before, I was going to shock the world. Well, we'll do it again. And then and the Bible says I can do all things with Christ, and I done it, you know what I mean? And,
very good. Thank you. Thank you very much. We're standing here with Ruelas, a man who would have fought had the business end of it got taken care of. Off what you saw tonight, you regret that it wasn't you fighting in there?
Yeah, I really do, but you know my time's gonna come, and I know he's not gonna hide it like he did this time. It should have been me in here, and I would have stopped him. I would have.
Now here's a man just dying to get to you.
That's right. I know. I've been hearing about his name all the time, and I want to beg Duncan to make the fight before December, and I'll prove to him that I clear the super featherweight and I move on to the lightweight.
So you want to fight Ruelas as well as give Grove, and a lot of people waiting to fight you.
That's right. I wish I can fight Ruelas tomorrow, and then I'll move up to the lightweight. But I want to fight the how do you call him, the champion, the challenger right now. I want to give him a rematch. Don, I think you are there. I want you to give us a rematch, but I want to finish this guy before this December. Anytime, anywhere, any day, wherever you want us to fight, I'll come there and do it again. Okay?
I wonder why you didn't give me the chance right here.
Well, I'm ready. You ready right now? Oh, come on, go put it across. Let's do it.
I think even Don King doesn't want to see that. Not tonight. Not tonight. All right. Now.
Okay, Little Eddie.
Last word.
Little Eddie from Ohio, Cleveland. I say hi. I love you.
You want to say goodbye to anybody? Because we're going.
Well, I just got to say that he's lucky, very lucky today. But, you know, I'm glad because I'm going to get to kick his ass.
All right. And now, whoa, from that kind of challenge, we go back to Sam Smith and Bobby Ches at ringside to a much more peaceful atmosphere. Good.
Well, Ferdy almost turning into a matchmaker, talking about some upcoming fights. And speaking of upcoming fights, on Sunday, December the 3rd,